So if I were to stop you right now and ask, what is K-beauty? Chances are you'd probably describe walking into one of those huge flagship stores, right?
Mhm.
Loading up your basket with all that amazing packaging, or maybe grabbing a dozen sheet masks just because they were on sale. For a long, long time, K-beauty was really all about that retail genius, maybe some cool ingredients like snail mucin, and this idea of accessible luxury.
And that was a completely accurate picture.
Oh,
I mean, until very, very recently. The sources we've pulled for this deep dive, they paint a picture of an industry that's just gone through a massive shift. It has pretty much abandoned that old model.
yeah, and the first real sign of this huge change came from, well, a pretty unexpected place, the Consumer Electronics Show, CES 2026. This year, the K-beauty section wasn't just, a corner of the hall. It basically took over. It felt less like a beauty fair
Oh, way less.
and more like walking onto the set of a sci-fi movie. We're talking about companies that used to just make nice bottles suddenly showing off AI, advanced sensors, and major partnerships with global tech giants.
It's actually astonishing. You've got Samsung getting deep into skin diagnostics, Amor Pacific partnering with MIT on electronic sensors.
With MIT.
Yeah. And then even smaller players are using medical-grade tech that just transforms how you even think about treating a wound.
So our mission for you today isn't just to list off all these cool gadgets, which, I mean, they are really cool. We want to get under the hood and understand the foundational shift in the industry structure. We're diving into the new flow of money, the strategy, basically how K-beauty went from a business of applying cream to a business of analyzing data.
Right. This is a massive change. And if you're only watching who's buying the next tube of BB cream, you are completely missing the real story.
Mm-mm.
So let's start with the specific innovations that made everyone at CES, the tech and health industries, stop and take notice. The biggest shock probably came from MRE Pacific.
Who are historically a very traditional cosmetics company, but they partnered with MIT.
That partnership alone tells you everything.
It signals a whole new level of ambition. They introduced something called the Skin Sight Electronic Skin Patch.
And if you remember old skin diagnostic tools, there were these big, clunky machines. Well, it's totally different. It is. It's this tiny, discrete patch. It just sticks to your skin, almost like a temporary tattoo. But it's measuring real-time, clinically relevant data points.
Mm-hmm.
Your aging status, your exact moisture level, your skin's elasticity.
So it turns your skin into a readable data source, constantly streaming.
Exactly. The core innovation is getting that continuous, non-invasive, raw biological data.
But the real genius here is how that raw data is immediately pulled into a huge tech ecosystem. This isn't just about a patch, and this is where, of course, Samsung comes in.
Well, the sources show this amazing synergy. You have the Samsung AI Beauty Mirror scanning your face with its camera. That's the image data. But then at the same time, it's cross-referencing that image with the raw data that's pouring in from the Amor Pacific Skin Sight patch.
So it's getting two different data sources at once.
That two-source input is the game changer.
And the output isn't just generic advice anymore. It's a genuine, hyper-specific prescription. It's not a mirror just showing you some fine lines. It's now a full-on diagnostic center. It gives you actual orders based on your real-time condition.
Right. It'll say something like, your elasticity is down 6% today. Use this LED mask on this specific frequency for exactly 8 minutes and follow it with this personalized ampoule.
Wow.
The creation of that full-stack, data-driven route is why Samsung has won an innovation award for, 7 years in a row now. And the strategic goal here, as the sources point out, is basically to contain our skin inside the Samsung ecosystem.
Okay, but hold on. If Samsung is controlling that whole loop, the diagnosis and the treatment recommendation, aren't they basically cutting out all the old school cosmetic brands?
That's it. That is the disruption.
It seems really dangerous for any retailer who just relies on people browsing shelves.
That's exactly the implication. The most valuable part of the chain isn't making the moisturizer anymore. It's owning the data that tells you which moisturizer to use and when and how much. This forces everyone else to either, join their ecosystem or just become a low-margin supplier.
Okay, let's talk about another company, APR, who makes the Medicube brand. Their whole setup at CES seemed to be telling a story.
Oh, a very clear story. Their booth was the biggest they've ever had. But the key detail was how they physically separated the experience zone from the business negotiation zone.
That's a loud signal.
A very loud signal. They weren't there just to show off products to consumers. They were using CES as a B2B platform to deal in technology with global buyers and big investors. It shows they want to dominate the home beauty device market by treating their devices as serious tech assets, not just another gadget.
All right, let's pivot to Colmar, Korea, because their story might be the most important one for understanding where the power is shifting. For decades, Colmar was an ODM and original development manufacturer. For anyone listening who might not know that term, can you just quickly explain what they did?
Sure. I mean, think of Colmar as the ghostwriter for the entire beauty industry. They were the ones in the background, quietly developing and manufacturing all those amazing BB creams and serums that the big famous brands would then just put their own label on.
So they were the engine, but they were invisible.
Exactly. They were happy to take the contracts and stay in the shadows. But this year, Colmar steps right into the spotlight and wins a top innovation award for their Scar Beauty device. This is not a product, it's a piece of original tech.
And the tech itself sounds, well, kind of mind-bending.
It is. It uses something called piezoelectric technology. So for anyone who's not an engineer, just think about the microscopic precision of your inkjet printer. Now imagine that level of control, but applied directly to a scar on your skin. The device can recognize the injury, and then, using that precision, it simultaneously sprays a wound treatment and covering makeup, layer by layer.
I mean, that's just... If you told me 5 years ago that a K-beauty brand would be using tech from a printer to heal a medical issue, I would not have believed you.
Right. That's the core insight. Colmar is transforming from just a contract manufacturer into a platform company that owns its own core technology. They control the IP.
And that just changes the whole negotiation.
Completely.
Okay, before we dive deeper into that power shift, let's quickly touch on two other key innovations. LG Household and Healthcare also made a big move.
They did. They officially signaled that wearable skincare is their future. They showed off the hyper-rejuvenating eye patch. It's a wearable device that uses microcurrents and optical tech to smooth eye wrinkles. It shows that even the big traditional companies are now investing heavily in hardware R&D.
And lastly, Cosmax introduced the MaxSpace machine, which could totally redesign how we buy makeup.
Yeah, this thing is incredible. Instead of buying a pre-made foundation, this machine lets you manufacture it right there on the spot.
At the push of a button?
At the push of a button. The exact color, the exact texture you want, customized instantly. That one device could mean the end of mass production and inventory for makeup. It's a huge deal.
So we've seen all this incredible hardware, but, on this deep dive, the real story is always in the money and the structural changes. So let's shift to the so what of all this.
Right. If you connect all these dots, the sources are all saying the same thing. K-Beauty is being repositioned as digital health plus an AI data business. And the partnerships confirm it. You have Samsung, MIT, Seoul National University. These collaborations instantly elevate the industry to the level of health tech and advanced IT.
And the absolute key to this whole new structure is the data platform. We talked about a more Pacific skin site patch, but the reason it's so important isn't just that it measures moisture, it's that it creates a closed-loop platform.
Precisely. It doesn't just diagnose. It continuously measures, it predicts future skin issues, and then it connects that prediction to a solution.
So the data it collects is incredibly valuable and proprietary.
And the scale is what builds the competitive moat. You mentioned Samsung is using over 450,000 skin data points.
Yeah, 450,000.
That's not just a big number, it's a massive, almost insurmountable barrier. No competitor can just go out and gather that much precise data. It makes that ecosystem almost impossible to compete with on customization.
So if the technology and the data are now the drivers, and that tech is coming from the companies that used to be the quiet manufacturers, the ODMs like Colmar, what does that do to the old power structure?
Well, that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? Historically, the brand of the distributor had all the power because they owned the customer. Colmar just did what they were told. But now, Colmar owns the award-winning fundamental technology.
They're not a service provider anymore. They're a core technology partner.
Correct. The companies that own the core original technology are now the ones dictating terms. The power balance with the old brands, who just relied on marketing, is going to inevitably change. The ODMs are coming out of the shadows.
That is the essential takeaway. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here, from sensors to supply chains. Let's try to boil this down into the 3 core transformative trends we found so you can really lock this in.
Good idea. These 3 concepts pretty much sum up the entire shift.
Okay, trend number 1. Hyper-personalization. It's not enough anymore to just be dry or sensitive. The new standard is devices using your unique data points, your moisture, your wound shape, even the microbiome on your scalp, to instantly customize the actual formulation of the product being applied.
Trend number 2, health and beauty convergence, or, fusion. The language of medicine wound treatment, aging prediction, is now completely embedded in beauty. And critically, this is all happening in your bathroom, not in a clinic. It turns your daily routine into something that's almost a medical act.
And trend number 3, platformization and partnerships. The era of just selling one-off products is over. The future is a unified structure where the devices, the data streams, and the prescriptive content are all tied together in a single, seamless ecosystem, just like we saw with Samsung and Amora Pacific.
So to just hammer home the main takeaway, K-Beauty has moved past the world of emotional marketing and pretty packaging. It is now firmly and very aggressively rooted in hard science, IT, and data. That's the new value proposition.
And that's what you, as you're watching this space, need to be thinking about. When you see news about these technologies, don't just get wowed by the gadget, ask the strategic question.
Right, focus on the business model. What kind of data is this tech collecting, and how can that data be used to create whole new service businesses? A subscription model, a data licensing model.
Exactly. And think about the physical world. How will these AI mirrors and wearables redesign your daily routine? How will they completely change the experience of walking into a department store?
The world where AI is constantly monitoring our skin health isn't some far-off future. It's here, and it's being led by these co-tech firms. The tech we are now applying to our faces is genuinely world-leading.
And so we have to decide how to ride this wave of change. Many people will just see these as the next hot consumer trend. But those who really succeed will recognize that our own personal skin data generated by these new platforms is now an incredibly valuable asset in this new industry. And understanding who owns that asset, well, that's where the real opportunity lies.